Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for all your inquiries about this or any of our watches. So email me for pricing. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a model made from 2001 to 2008. This is the successor to the 5034. You guessed it. It is the Patek Philippe Travel Time 5134. This is the 5134G-001 in white gold, 37 millimeters in diameter, 10 millimeters thick, from lug tip to lug tip, 46.2 millimeters, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. The watch is substantial, and as you can see, because of the crown guard profile and the travel time actuators on the flank, it has the footprint of a larger watch. While not broad across the wrist, again, it's just 46.2. It is fairly shapely from 9 to 3, creating the impression that this is more like a 39 or a 40 when it's on the wrist. It is a flat watch with a domed bezel, so while not ultra thin, it will slip underneath just about any dress cuff. And because it is narrow from lug to lug, I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. My wrist is 16. We'll take a look at the strap. As you can see, Patek Philippe factory strap, no crimping, no gouging. We have pull tab spring bars so you can pop the strap off without tools, calf skin on the bottom. We have in profile a sheer cut flank showing the layers of leather, a monotone stitch, a matte finish with large symmetrical rectangular scale alligator leather, always indicative of a very expensive cut of the hide. And we have a matching white gold single fold deployant clasp. It is snap shut, and it features a Calatrava cross externally. That is the symbol of the brand. You will also find it, for example, on the crown. The crown guard structure makes this descendant of the 1958 2597 a very substantial looking watch. So it's a sporty dress watch by Patek standards, and it does hail from the line of the 2597, which included a Louis Coutier travel time function that is still well represented. We have two superimposable 12-hour hands. The primary hands are blackened white gold, whereas the travel time hand is polished white gold. So when you don't need that second time zone, you can collapse everything and keep the dial nice and clean. When you do need that second time zone, you could see that it is keyed to a 24-hour dial at the top. So for example, you want to know if I am looking at 10 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, you can see that little tiny blackened leaf hand on the 24-hour dial. That's at 22, so we're looking at 10 o'clock at night. That's how you can tell. And remember, that 24-hour dial is keyed to that polished leaf hand for the travel time. And we have small seconds down at 6 o'clock with a lovely array of white gold applique breguet hands. Truly beautiful. Breguet Arabic numerals on a Patek is always a special look. The dial is truly white, not silver white, but true matte white, or opaline, as Patek would describe it. We have a little register with railroad track and sectors for the seconds. Then we have a railroad track outboard for reading the minutes. The case is simple and fluid. You can see long flowing lines, a curvaceous domed bezel with a little bit of a soft crease on its edge for a slightly different facet. You can see how the travel time actuators flank the case and really echo the curvature of the case. They don't seem disruptive to the overall lines. Everything here is of high polish, and you might note that it is pretty white. For a white gold watch, they tend to be a little bit warmer than platinum. This looks blazing white. Well, prior to 2006, Patek used rhodium on its white gold, which really does create an ultra-white platinum-like effect. So that's what you're seeing here. That's why it seems to be so impossibly bright. Now, the watch includes 30-meter water resistance, a screwed-in case back, and a caliber based on the 215 manual wind, so 18 joules adjusted to hot and cold, with a 4 hertz beat rate, a 44-hour power reserve, and it has a free-sprung Gyromax style balance for precision of adjustment and shock resistance. We have the Geneva hallmark, as all of the 5134s were made prior to 2009. All of them feature the Geneva seal rather than the later Patek Philippe seal. And you can see that there's a lot of elements that are beautifully done. In particular, if you look closely, you can see the teeth of the solarized crown wheel and ratchet wheel have been micro-beveled on their edges. You can see the gleaming micro-bevels of those teeth, really something special. We have abrasive wheel stripes, not the stamped kind, but the striped kind, laid down by a roller across the bridges, perfectly aligned. You can see we have beveling on the edge of the bridges, though this was a kinder, gentler era of Patek finish. If you look closely, you can see filing marks. Again, a little bit of a nostalgic feature of older Patek movements. We have beveling within the jewel sinks as well, and all screw heads have been polished with chamfered slots in circumference. Satination on the non-ratchet and crown wheel. The train wheels are satinated with a little bit of internal beveling, and then there's engine turning on the base plate. A fantastic throwback to the way we were. Of course, this being a pre-owned watch, you can see there's a little bit of scratching on the bezel here, but overall condition is excellent, 95 out of 100. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.